online. It's already up on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. Just waiting for this thing to go in so I could mute the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Welcome to YouTube. Oh, it's already muted. Look at that. Look at that.
Toma.
So, welcome to the show, everybody. We are here. Craze Boogie is here. Jaylah will be on shortly. Our guest today is Magnus Alpha designer Hommy Diaz. Welcome to the show.
Dímelo.
Unfortunately, we can't record this live from the monkey room and watch the Heinz how we normally want to do things.
Yeah.
We have to do this virtually. Hommy's live from LA. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no doubt.
You ready to get through this, man? These are some tough questions.
Yo, man, with this heat wave, I can get through anything out here, man.
Yo, I want to talk about that. Rick, do your intro, please. Let's go. I want to talk about some stuff.
So, no, I'm done. Oh, I want to say happy birthday to Jen,
Yes.
Justin's wife. It's her birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Justin's our director, producer.
Justin is the director, producer, and editor of the show. Reason why he's not here right now. Jaylah will
Obvious reasons.
Yeah, I mean, if it's his wife's birthday, happy wife, happy life, you know.
Yep.
So that's why Justin's not here. But
Understood.
Craze, you want to talk about this heat wave?
Yo, I really do. I want to know what's going on out there because I feel like I've been back here already a couple of years, but I was out there I was out there literally right before all the shit started going crazy at the end of January. And I heard it wasn't bad. Then I heard it's going fucking crazy out there. And I follow some people, but I don't really know like what's going on, bro. I heard there's a huge heat wave. I heard COVID cases are going crazy. What's good? What's good in LA, man?
Yeah, right now it's like last I checked I just got back. I had to make a quick run. It was like 102 out there. So, and you feel it. The minute you walk out from your crib into the outside, it's like, oh, all right, it's legit. It's hot. Your skin starts to like sizzle the minute you step out.
So you're stepping out in tank tops and flip-flops, I'm imagining.
Not really. I mean, I jump into my car, I blast the AC. I ain't trying to walk out there. It's Cali, we ain't walking.
Nobody walks.
You don't got a Magnus Alpha tank top?
Yo.
Some Magnus Alpha chancletas that you just flip on when you're coming out the studio?
The chancletas are on the works, but the tank tops, nah, I don't do the thing. I don't do that 50 Cent joint. The 50 Cent joint where it's like mad high up here and shit.
Hell yeah.
Nah, I don't do that.
They kind of 50s look like a bra. I don't know what he was trying to make happen.
They look like a bra strap.
Yeah. Nah, I don't do that.
Yo, homie,
nah, I ain't fit for that.
Tell us a little bit about you, bro. Like where you from? You mentioned off the air you're from New York, right? So give us a little bit of background. Where you from? How you grew up?
Yeah, man. Born and raised in Queens, man. Flushing. I was born in Jamaica Hospital, so right there,
I got Mike
so yeah, man.
Look.
Oh yeah, I see that. That's what's up. Yeah, man. Born and raised in Queens, Flushing. And then yeah, man, I grew up in right there, man, right off of Main Street, right by the 7 line, So I literally took the 7 line from beginning to end. Almost got them every day of my life, from the age of like 9 when I was skateboarding. I started skateboarding around 8 and then around 9. And then I would say around 10 or 11, I started hitting the city. So I would take the train from Main Street all the way to back and forth, Times Square and in between. So imagínate, the 7 line, I was repping the 7 line. For real.
So Main Street is the worst. I compare that and Roosevelt on the, you know where I'm going with this. Main Street on 7 and the Roosevelt E. If you ain't never been on a train before, there's no room in the platforms. And once you come out on Main Street, it's just like you got to walk on the street. You can't walk on the sidewalk.
Yeah, man, I call it Flushan Quans.
Cool. I
call it Flushan Quans.
Why is that?
Well, it's all like, it's Asian, predominantly Asian in Flushing.
Yo, real shit.
I mean, they got some
Main Street. So I mean, the signs are
Yo, there's some.
And that's no disrespect to my home, but I wanted to give it that new name.
I feel that. And so you're background wise, you are Dominican, right?
I think it froze.
Froze up.
Born and raised.
You got him back?
Yeah, we got him back.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Craze was
So yeah, my
asking,
parents were born. My parents were born in DR.
what part of DR? That's Craze's always follow-up question because he needs to know exactly where.
I'd like to
He
know.
needs to know how Dominican you are.
Damn. Interrogation.
I'd like to know. I want to know we cousins, maybe.
Yeah, you never know, man. Well, my dad was born in Puerto Plata. My mom was born in Santiago, in Guayabal. But they were both raised in the capital, in Los Minas. Literally, they were both raised in the same turning streets, like literally in Los Minas. And my dad and my mom knew each other as little kids, but my dad's 6 years older. So when he was, 8, she was like 2. You know what I'm saying? So they never hung out as kids, but my dad ran the streets with her brothers, her older brothers. My mom is the second to youngest. So it's crazy. Like, they met like,
that's nuts. Shout out Los Minas.
Whatever, 15 years, 17 years later. Yeah, man.
Wow. Shout out Los Minas. Now, you went from a kid in Queens to a designer in Los Angeles, like a skateboarder in Queens to a designer in Los Angeles. You got a line called Magnus Alpha. What happened in between that gap right there? How'd you get into designing, or was designing the main thing, or were you just into creating?
I was into creating from the very beginning. As a little kid, I would always draw the comic books, try to copy the comic books. And then, that was like my intro to like artwork. I was inspired by the comics. And then I got into skateboarding because I just flowed into it. And then the graphics on the skateboards got me all excited and inspired. The skateboarding videos got me excited and inspired. And then all the way skaters dress, we had our own dress code, so that all of that culmination of different mediums of art just clashed together. They mashed up, and that's how I got into art. And then I went to art school. I went to Bayside High School for art, and then I went to Parsons School of Design for art.
Wow. Okay. So how did Magnus Alpha come about? And explain a little bit of the history of the brand.
So real quick, just to back it up, I went to Parsons. After I graduated from Parsons, I graduated in 2001, May. And you know what happened in September of 2001? We had 9/11. So basically, I had a rough time finding a job in the art world. I had a lot of freelance gigs, but I never had like a real like full-time job in the art world. So I ended up taking a job with Apple Computer in Soho. So I opened that store with them. And that was just like the launching pad. I started networking with mad different people. And then DC Shoes, DC Shoes, right?
Yes. If you into skating or a little bit about skating, you know what DC is.
Yeah, so DC Shoes ended up hiring me. They plucked me out of Apple and they moved me out of San Diego, California to run their lifestyle division. So I was the product line manager, which I had the merchandise, come up with the colors, the materials of the shoes. And I hit the ground running because they just saw that they saw the natural, fit. I was a skateboarder. I was now in Apple. I was a creative. They were just like, yo, this is the guy. We need to hire him. And to tell you a little bit how crazy life is, John Buscemi?
Yeah.
I know
Buscemi Shoes?
Yeah.
Well, I replaced John Buscemi at DC Shoes. He pieced out to do his own thing. And then obviously DC Shoes was looking for somebody. And then we had developed a relationship while I was working at Apple. And they were like, yo, this is our guy, So anyways, I moved to San Diego, hit the ground running, over 5 years with DC. Then I did Palladium Boots, then I did K-Swiss. And that's it, man. I had my 10-year degree. I was like, all right, it's time for me to do my own thing now, And then Magnus Alpha was born.
Now, for people who aren't, first of all, there's a pair of kicks that you designed that, to me, I need to get those, and I will accomplish that goal. I'll talk about those later on. But for people who haven't seen Magnus Alpha, there's also a mission statement behind it. There's a purpose behind every piece you design. What are some of the designs and your creative process on doing those designs, and where does the inspiration come from?
So with Magnus, I wanted to touch on my roots and where I come from. So obviously, kid from Queens. I'm a product of an immigrant. My parents are from DR. So that was like the basis of the foundation of the brand that I would create someday. I always had that in my back pocket. I'm like, if I'm gonna ever do something, that has to be at the root of it somehow, in some form. So with Magnus, Alpha. So Magnus in Latin means great, and Alpha in Latin means dominance. So the translation of Magnus Alpha in English is great dominance. And the idea is that great dominance over your own identity, not over somebody else. You know, it's not like, yo, I'm gonna dominate you. No, you got to work on dominating yourself and understanding who you are before you can take the next step. So that was what the meaning of the brand was. And then all the product was labeled POAI, product of an immigrant. So it was product of an immigrant, high top, product of an immigrant, you know, POAI backpack, POI, etc. So that was like the whole little acronym for the brand was POAI. And then that's what I've been hitting the ground running lately, man. Just building stories off of that, because there's an endless amount of stories and there's people from all over the world that can relate to that message. I'm a product of an immigrant. Yeah, I am. I was born here, but my parents and the culture that I was brought up in is not from here. And I apply that to my everyday life. So I felt that that was something everybody could, you know, get down with.
Now, if you're, let's say, would you take inspiration from other cultures besides obviously the skateboard culture, the Dominican culture? Let's say there's a heavy influence on a story from an Asian immigrant where you want to try to tell their story by design. Would you venture off into that, or you're just strictly, you have an idea of what you want to do, or maybe this is something down the line that you're going to do?
Yeah, the idea is to touch the world. You know, the idea is not to be, you know, isolated or, you know, confined to like my own roots. It's about telling more. It's more about telling other people's stories, not just mine. You know, obviously my story's first because I'm the, you know, I got to work on myself, and that's what the brand's about, having great dominance of your identity. So I got to start with me, with my story and my experience, and then it's going to continue on into all the stories, you know, from people from different walks of life, you know, from Asian countries to Latin American countries, European countries. Because again, like, you know, the world is pretty much made up of product of immigrants. You know, the natives are very few and far in between nowadays. When I go to Europe, especially like Paris, or when I'm in like all different countries, they think I'm from there because I look like I'm another guy that's walking on the street, because I don't look, you know, nobody could tell that I'm Dominican. They'd be thinking I'm, you know, like Muslim or something, or they think I'm Moroccan, or they think, yo, I get everything but Dominican. So it just goes to show that we're all products of an immigrant. That as much as we can pinpoint somebody by a certain look, like, oh, tú eres dominicano, I could tell. That's like, that gets more and more ambiguous every day. You know what I mean? You know, you go to DR and there's mad Asians in DR. Dímelo, loco, and they're Asian.
Jewish people, and
you know,
yeah. Also, on the flip coin of that, you probably got this too. Oh, you don't look Dominican. You know, when they ask me the question, oh, what's your background? Oh, I'm Dominican. Oh, but you don't look Dominican. And immediately in my mind, my initial response is like, well, what the hell does a Dominican look like?
Exactly.
Last time I checked, we come in all shapes and sizes, flavors, and colors.
And that just applies to every race, you know, and every culture. That's the word culture. That's what it's all about. It's more like you're of the Dominican culture, you're not, you know, the Indians, the Quisqueya, like all that, they're long gone. You know what I'm saying? Like that lineage is like so mixed and so like, I don't want to say diluted, but they have the richness of other genes. You know, it's like hard to find somebody that is like, yo, you are a spitting image DNA of the Indians before Colon. You know what I'm saying? That's just impossible these days.
We are a melting pot. That's straight up. DR is a good example of that, like globally. Like if you think about how many different types of cultures kind of converge there sometimes. Even just in like it being such a tourist, you know, destination, and so many people that we see a lot of people that from the US that are now investing and moving into DR. And so like you see all the time from different countries. DR is kind of like a melting pot like that too.
You're kind of whispering there, Craze. Are you trying to make? Are you trying to flirt with Homie?
Can you hear me, bro? Can you hear me, bro?
No, I can hear you now. It's just when you lean back a little bit, I lost you a little bit.
Bro, I gotta take this like.
Or maybe it's just that I'm deaf.
I think you're deaf. Homie, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
See?
I'll get my hearing checked. It's years of listening to Linkin Park and rock bands and all that shit. Fucks me up. What?
Are you're a Linkin Park fan?
Big time, man. Big time.
Yeah, I worked with Mike Shinoda on his shoes at DC.
You did?
Wow, bro. That's amazing, bro. That's one of the things I feel like about the type of work that you do. Even just talking about being a sneaker designer in that world. And it's like, it touches so many. Right now, sneaker culture is its own culture, right? And like, I feel like
100%.
there's so many people that are involved in it, and so many, like, I don't want to say like unsung heroes, but like you don't really see them necessarily in the mainstream. But you work on so many dope projects, like even the stuff that you've done with K Swiss, like the kids stuff that you did. There's like a character that you partnered up with. I forget the name. What's the
Flippy?
Flippy, is that? And I feel like there's so much dope stuff that goes on within sneaker culture, and it's like, yo, it's moving at the speed of light, honestly, with how many people are coming up in that world. I feel like you're one of the people that when I was in LA, I'm like, yo, I didn't even know there was like Dominican designers out there doing this shit till I saw your products. I'm like, oh shit, bro. Like,
people only think it's Oscar de la Renta, and that's it.
Exactly.
That was my inspiration, boy.
I mean, hell of a man, hell of a designer, but he inspired a ton of people. You know, Cesar Perez talked about being inspired by Oscar de la Renta. Like another Queens kid. He had no clue that he was Dominican. When he found out he was Dominican, he went crazy. He was like, I needed to learn more about this man.
Yeah.
Crazy, bro.
So
people that were inspiration for you, bro.
Yeah, that was our next question.
Other inspirations for me, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was inspired a lot by, like I said, skateboarders, man. There was a whole bunch of skateboarders that were also artists. You know, they would make their own graphics for their boards and their T-shirts. So I mean, there's so many of them. But to me, like just going back to Oscar de la Renta, that was the thing that blew my mind, because when I was young and one time I was asked by an aunt, yo, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, I want to be an artist. And she was like, yo, artists don't become, you know, famous or rich until after they're dead, you know, like Pablo Picasso. And I was like, oh, damn, quite a shutdown. You know, and I was young. I was like 12 years old. And then my mom eventually later pointed Oscar de la Renta out in a perfume store. So I still didn't even know what the man looked like. I had no idea he existed. I didn't even know Oscar de la Renta, period. I didn't even know that the name. I didn't know it was a fashion, nothing. I had no idea. She just hit me, boom, 1, 2, Oscar de la Renta perfume. I was like, what's that? She's like, oh, he's Dominican. And I was like, oh,
really?
What? And she's like, he's alive. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, and he's famous and he's wealthy. I was like, whoa. I was like, all right, she hit me on the head. And I was like, wow, okay, so I can actually, this is legit. I can go for this. I can actually become an artist, a designer, or whatever. At the time, I didn't know the term. I was like, all right, cool. And I kept that in the back of my mind. And then fast forward, I was 12 when she gave me that info. And I hadn't seen what he looked like until I was in high school, my senior year. I was taking a Spanish class in high school, and the teacher was Dominican. She was this beautiful lady, Dominican lady. And at that time, I was kind of depressed because I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. At that point, I was already kind of, the art didn't seem like it was the dream anymore. It was just always shut down, you know. And I was like, oh, what am I going to do? Everybody's applying to the cliches of the world. You know, I want to go to law school or this or that. Nobody was talking about art, and I was in an art school. So I'm like, nobody's talking about going to art schools. Everybody's talking about everything else but art. And I'm like, damn, what am I doing? Anyways, that teacher, one day, she says something and she goes like Oscar de la Renta. And she points, and this whole time she had a photo of him with him and his wife in the classroom. Wow. And I saw the photo some time ago in the class, but I never, that's her dad.
It was a family member or something?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's probably her dad, because they looked like they could have been family. Anyways, so when she pointed to that, and I was like, oh shit. From that day on, I was like, in my senior year in high school, I was like, I'm going to art school. It was like a reminder, like, yo, keep your faith, keep your dream alive. And that was like, so he became my inspiration more than once. And it was life throwing him at me. And I was like, and that was the first time I saw what he looked like. So imagínate, like from like 12 to like 17, all those years in between, I had never seen the man. You know what I mean? So that's why for him, he's the ultimate inspiration, because he organically popped. He was put in my life organically. They name dropped him organically when I was at like a point of like either being shut down or lost. So I was like, wow, this is happening for a reason, if anything. You know, let me go forward. And then here I am.
So let's say when you sit down and you're going through your creative process, I'm imagining you doing your fall line now. what are some things that you put in, like, you're like, okay, fall's coming up, I need this, I need a pair of kicks, I need this, I need that, or is it different for you? Do you have things that, like, you're doing something in life and you see something, you're like, yo, I need to create this for that?
Yeah.
Is it like a set list where you already know where does it come from, the inspiration, and how do you get to creating a collection?
So it's, I mean, with the training that I've had, you know, with the previous brands traveling the world, I would have to literally go on market research. And, you know, a couple months before we would pen the paper on the ideas, even a list, we would go out and see what's needed or what's missing or what needs to be improved. And then we would come back and we would jot those ideas down, and then we would, you know, edit it and be like, all right, what do we really need and what we don't need? Or what does the market really need? How much extra can we put in and how much can we take out at the end of the day? So that's obviously a learning that I've taken into my own business. So with everything that's going on right now, for me, fall is based on necessities, you know. So I have kids, obviously I got 3 kids, and I'm home.
Jayla's
I'm home with them.
I'm sorry to cut you off. She's joining us live from, it looks like a car.
Live and in person, straight from a car, humiliatedly late. And I'm so sorry, homie. I really do apologize.
Yo, should I go horizontal or her and I should stay vertical?
You should stay vertical with her. It looks good. We're being recorded in the speaker view and the gallery view, and our director, he chops it up later and he fixes it up. So
you let me know if you want to go horizontal. I can switch it up.
I'm feeling like you want to go horizontal. You just want to make Jayla.
No,
oh, now we're gonna use me as the excuse. Is that what I came in here for? I see you. I do horizontal too. Espérate, ahí vamos. Ahí estamos bien.
Oh my. Ahora estamos hablando inglés.
Now, there we go.
Yeah, man, that's what's up.
He was in the middle of talking about going through his creative process and how he gets a collection together. Market research was the first piece.
You said that the fall is about necessity, you mentioned.
Yes, and he said his theme is necessity for the fall.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, so basically right now I have to look at the things that are needed in my surroundings and could be necessary or accepted by others or be a solution for others. So for me, right now, I'm home with the kids. Like 2 hours ago, I was Professor Diaz. I was literally homeschooling my kid. I had to freaking be, literally, I had his principal on a Zoom call. Like, it was crazy. I'm like, yo, I'm going through these lessons. Anyway, so I got the kids, you know, what happens with the kids? They're climbing over you. They're getting you dirty. They're spilling stuff on you. And then you obviously don't want to get dressed up for a Zoom call. You want to be comfortable, but you don't want to be in your pajamas at the same time. You don't want to pull a Damon Wayans. I don't know if you ever saw the skit with Damon Wayans. He was addressing the school and he gets up and he's naked.
Just not, I was wearing boxer briefs in the bottom. I just put on a nice little t-shirt. Who's gonna know? Who's gonna know?
So with that said,
right now and be good.
Yeah, but a veces, you know, those mistakes, la gente se paran y se olvidan to stop the recording, and they're like, oh shit.
No, and Rick, Rick doesn't understand what Rick is now learning. He's starting a new process as a dad. So he doesn't understand that 1 millisecond that your kid goes to go drop something, he's living on a great stage right now. But when you got your kid and you're throwing chocolate and you're like, cállate, and you're running, and all of a sudden your boxers are showing because you ran after your kids so they don't hurt themselves.
Yeah.
He's not at that age yet. And a couple people have told me they can't wait for my son to be walking around and stuff. I was like, thanks. Let him grow up first, and then he'll be running and walking. Let me enjoy this piece first. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Prepárate.
It's a good process. I mean, I think you have a newborn also. I think yours was born a week before mine, maybe. June 26th?
She was born June 20th.
Yeah, you see, 6 days. So, like, it was crazy. I was like, another thing is, I'm having a baby now, and everybody's having a baby. Like, a lot of people that I know, I'm like, oh, congratulations. Oh, I don't know what it was. Quarantine babies. Anyways.
Yeah, I was going to say there was something in the water. Everybody felt quarantine coming ahead of time, and they're like, nah.
I might have to get somebody pregnant too.
Crazy. You're way late with that, man. Come on, man. Hurry up, man. That way, you know, Jonas can have like a little friend.
There you go.
Anyways, so at home with the kids.
Yeah, so I wanted to design a pair of pants that could, you know, be like stain resistant, super comfortable, so that I'd have the feeling like I'm wearing pajamas, but I look like I'm, you know, dressed, like I'm gonna be out, like I'd be like, damn, those pants are dope, or whatever. Like, yo, the pants look fitting for where you're going into, a lounge or a restaurant. So I wanted that feeling of comfort, but that looks like I'm dressed up. So I designed those pants. I don't know if you saw them on my Instagram.
Oh yeah,
and those are the best things I've ever done because they're super lightweight. Thank you. They're super lightweight. They keep me cool, literally. And then and you know, it's something that I feel like I could just jump in and out of bed with it, and I don't have to change. So that was part number one. I nailed that. I just finished it. The second one was that.
You so crazy on that part, jumping out of bed and he's already ready.
I'm gonna get
Yeah. And I'm telling you, it works. I'm like, damn. And then when you spill water on it, it repels the water or the juice stains. And I'm like, yo, estamos bien. Okay, seguimos. Oh. The next one was the shirt, the button-up shirt with the mask inside of the sleeve. You know, so you put the mask in there, you never forget your mask. I'm working on another hoodie with a mask. It's gonna be crazy. I'm almost finished with it. And
by the way, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm going to.
No, go ahead.
I've seen your shirts and just the way you dress. I think me and you have the exact same stylist, because plaid is my shit, bro. Is my shit.
Yo, is that skater? It's like a skater sheet. That's what it is, bro.
I don't know what it is. That shit is just fire. Like, my wife will look at me when we're shopping. She's like, don't you have that exact same shirt? I was like, no, this has green and it has this color in it also. I'm loving the fact that you're implementing that in your line, like the red one that you did with the lion on it.
Yeah,
I gotta look it up. But I like that one. Anyways.
Yeah. So those are the things I'm working on right now. Just little things that just throw a little touch on current times and the solutions that are needed. You know, sometimes people walk out their crib and they forget their mask. With my stuff, the mask will be inside, you know, in a compartment. The hoodie that I'm working on right now is going to be, I think, a game changer. And the pants, man, the pants are just incredible, bro. You know,
how is it for you? Like, you know, obviously times are changing, so much time of uncertainty. I know we're all just adjusting to all of this, but how does that, like, as much as you want to think ahead to the future? I mean, obviously in New York City, because I'm from Florida originally, so it's a little different, because, you know, you could do the shorts, you could do the pants all year round. Pero you're here, you're thinking, okay, where are we going to be at with this come, you know, December, January, February? And, you know, like, how do you kind of plan for that and like incorporating what you're working on?
Yeah. So basically with the training that I've had, I have to work, well, footwear companies, apparel companies to a certain extent work 18 months in advance. So that's become, you know, a training that I've had for the past 12 years now. So we always have to do the research based on, you know, the prior season. So I'm going to look back at last winter to see what I can update for this coming winter and add solutions that are necessary, hence COVID. You know, they're going to need something that protects their, you know, their mouth and their nose, stuff like that. Those are just small little details, but there's a lot of materials that I can use that are, you know, bacterial, you know, there's a lot of things that I could choose, you know, between material, color, you know, weight. So all these things have to be, you know, be in consideration when it comes down to, like, you know, planning for the future. So there's a lot of different layers to planning out your design. So again, the pants was because of my kids with the stains. And then at the same time, I don't want to change. I don't want to change. I'm home all day. I don't want to be, oh, I got a Zoom call at 3. I got to wear this. Oh, I got a Zoom call at 9. And I got to wear this. Like, nah, I'm like, yo, I'm done. If I get up or the camera falls, they're going to see me in my
You're
pants.
good. You're safe.
You know?
You're not going to be like Rick and his boxes.
There you go.
And there's a sports telecaster too that got up. He was wearing a shirt, a tie, and a jacket. I think it was a football player, retired football player, and my man was in his boxers. I'm trying to remember who it was, but live.
There was a couple of those. There was a couple of those, bro.
I think that approach though, of like just planning for stuff and trying to find solutions, that's a different approach. I mean, I feel like maybe that's something where brands are going now, but I feel like I haven't really seen that. I think that's pretty innovative to me, at least. I'm not really a fashion guru necessarily, but the idea that
you're crazy. We can talk about your shirt.
Yo, actually, there's a story behind this shirt. You know the story.
I know it is.
This was one of the care packages that Rick sent me.
From New York.
When I was out in LA, they sent me this shirt as like a care package. This is from the Chinatown ice cream factory. One of my favorite.
Pretty good.
Oh.
But yeah, man, I feel like that's finding solutions for shit. You know, is like an approach that I just think is dope that I see in your clothing, and like there's a lot of detail, there's a lot of stuff, intricate shit, that a lot of thought that goes into it, and I feel like it's evident when we're looking at your stuff that maybe not a lot of other brands are doing stuff like that. So like I feel like that approach just is that something that is just you in your approach, or like is that as a source of like because of the brands you've been associated with, in terms of like that innovative solution oriented approach?
Well, to be honest, it's harder to make something simple. So that's the challenge. The challenge is how to simplify things. So the way I approach design is I might go crazy at first a little bit and add a lot of things. And then I have to take as much time, if not much more time, in stripping away the unnecessary things, the things that have no purpose. You know what I'm saying? So if it doesn't have a purpose, I take it off. And especially if it's going to distract from the message you're trying to tell. So if you're trying to tell a particular message and you're like bedazzling it up or just, you know, overdressing the shoe, it might distract from, you know, your message. People might be like, I don't see that because I'm so distracted by this big button you put on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless, you know, your idea is to be crazy and have something that's wild, then that's a point of view and that's great. But for me, I try to simplify it so that I can, you know, allow people to hone in on the message or the detail, and they'll be like, yo, that detail stands out. I recognize your brand because of that detail, you know? So that's one way to like market the brand, where I see the consistent message, at least in this collection from the following collection. And so that you'll see little repeat details in my collection, and you'll be like, oh, I see that. Only when you hold it close, you'll be like, oh, okay, I'm catching on to the little things that make a difference in either the quality or the materials, you know?
So yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Two things that I've noticed about your brand is A, the material, and B, the story. So last year you did a purple shirt with the name Lourdes on it.
Yeah.
There's a story behind that piece, and I wanted you to elaborate on that.
Sure. So basically, again, going back to my roots and how I came up, again, the brand, the mantra of the brand is product of an immigrant, POAI. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was fitting to tell the story of my aunt, Lourdes. She was the first of the 13 brothers and sisters as a female to leave DR in the 60s. And she ventured out. Mind you, there's no way of knowing what New York really looks like. You have no idea what the winters are like. You have no idea. So she took that leap and she bounced, and she settled up in New York. And then she brought all the other brothers and sisters and her parents little by little, you know? And she then reintroduced my mom to my dad. And they got married and they had.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's, to me, that was my way. If it wasn't for her, she's just as much as responsible. She's the closest thing responsible unbiologically to my existence. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So had she not taken that leap and left, and had she not brought my mom over and take my mom to Central Park and be like, oh, remember him? And then connect the dots, I wouldn't be here today.
Wow.
So the reason why I did a purple shirt was because she passed away from Alzheimer's. And Alzheimer's Day coincides with Hispanic Heritage Month. So that was a story connection right there. It's like, I wanted to donate to Alzheimer's research during Hispanic Heritage Month. You know what I mean? So that was the whole deal with that. And again, it tells the story of Magnus Alpha, having great dominance of your identity, understanding your roots, championing that first, and then, you know, paying homage to somebody else that paved the way for you, or that, you know, opened the door for you, whatever, you know. That's the only way you could do that. You know, if you don't understand your journey, You know, it's hard for you to really tell stories like that.
I appreciate the fact that also the marketing strategy behind it, where you had each influencer or creative wear the shirt and then tell their particular story of who's there with this.
Exactly.
I'm curious to know if you'll be repeating something similar, being as Hispanic Heritage Month is coming up soon, and you already spoke about your aunt. Is there maybe something that you're coming up for? I think it's September 16th to October 16th.
15th.
Yeah.
They gave us,
15th.
they
It's
gave us some
15th to the 15th.
weird half-month thing. And they couldn't have just said, September, that's yours. You can have that.
Yeah, no, you can't have September. You're gonna have half of September,
Half,
half of
half of that one
October.
and half of the other one.
Yeah.
So is there
Like
something?
all the Latino life, all complicados.
Well, you know what it is? Mexican Independence Day is September 16th. So
Yep.
yeah,
that's
We
how they
just had-
started it.
Imagine I just had Costa Rican Mother's Day on August 15th. You know, like I get celebrated 2 years around, and you know, I had to call my family, and then other people were like, "Hey, happy Costa Rican Mother's Day," and like those are just things, you know, a lot of people aren't used to. We're not. It's my culture, but it's not everybody else's culture.
But the good thing is, I think Hispanic Heritage Month is growing and is being celebrated a lot more in the last, I would say, 5 to 10 years.
I agree.
So to get back to Omi, is there something similar that you're going to bring back?
I'm working on a couple of things. I don't know if I'm going to do something as involved. I want to continue donating to Alzheimer's awareness, you know, so that campaign is still going on. The product is still available. I'll keep making the product as long as people buy it, and I'll keep donating as long as I keep getting, you know, sales from it. And I will be doing, I've done already some things that's going to go towards it, but it's not product involved. And I didn't want to take away from that product. I figured, let me let that product rock. And the things that I'll be involved with will be obviously around Hispanic Heritage Month. I'll do I got a couple of interviews, and I did an ad for another company. So we'll see how that goes.
I mean, I think it's dope, man. It's that piece alone, it stands on, because one, there's a story behind the product, there's a story behind everything, the shirt, the material. So, and it's, people love to do things where, okay, I'm buying this, but the proceeds are going to this. It makes somebody feel better when they're buying something or they're purchasing into it.
100, yeah.
And I think even that cause, you know, like my grandfather slipped on a rock and hit his head, and he, you know, went through dementia, then he went through Alzheimer's, and he eventually passed away from that. And it was all from just slipping on a rock and hitting his head at a young, you know, at an older age. He hit his head at 84, and he survived until about 90-ish. But, you know, and then my grandma died about 4 years after that, a couple years after that. And, you know, it's one of those things and the more, like, sometimes it's like, I feel like sometimes we just don't talk about it. It's like mental illness. Like, I feel like, you know, obviously Alzheimer's is a type of, you know, situation that a lot of Latinos just don't like to talk about those weaknesses, and that, hey, my family went through that. My cousins went through that. My aunt's going through that. You know, I've met a couple people in my lifetime where it's like, oh, wow, like we have that in common. Like, it feels nice to talk to somebody who, like, I can talk to about this, that not a lot of people understand. And I think that's very honorable, of like using your voice and using what you have and your creativeness and doing all of that to put a voice to all of this, you know what I mean? Because it's not easy for us as Hispanics, as Latinos, as, you know, wherever category we want to put ourselves in, to talk about any type of illnesses or mental illnesses, or, you know, things that are very real and very, very prominent in our community.
Yeah, you're brought up, you don't go to the hospital unless you're dying.
Yeah.
Literally.
Complain about any of that as a Latino. So,
and to touch on that, while we're on that subject about Latinos and mental health, unfortunately, you know, one of the reasons why I did the campaign was because lots of the highest percentage affected by talked about, and in the next 10 years, you know, we're going to be dramatically the lead like race suffering from the disease by like 40% above everyone else. Like ridiculous numbers. The numbers are increasing so dramatically in our community, in our culture, that it's something's got to give. You know, there's got to be more research involved, you know, in studying our people versus just the other people. I mean, whites are the lowest, you know, then you have, you know, Black, and then you have Spanish, like Latinos are way above, like way above. And I think that's at the root of the problem, that we don't want to talk about it, that we don't want to face it, that we don't want to seek help early on or preventative measures. And that's the problem. So another reason why I did it, I didn't want to like shock people, but I did talk about it, that, you know, we have to take this into consideration because it's only going to affect us even more down the line. It's not like, yay, it's just an issue right now. It's not a COVID situation. This is, you know, a lifelong journey for any living person that they're going to see their loved ones go through. So a person like my aunt, everyone's got that tia, that father, that grandmother in their life. So, you know, if they don't want to see it happen to themselves and put their kids through it, they should buy the product or just donate. You know what I'm saying? Just to be like, hey, how do I get involved so I don't put my kids through that, you know, what my aunt or my father or my grandmother went through. So that was kind of the driving. I didn't want to make that the heart of the campaign. I just wanted to be like, yo, I went through it. Are you going through it? What do you want to do for yourself in this situation? How would you want to go down?
I think most Latinos didn't even know the fact that they are number one in that disease. Yeah. So just awareness itself, I think, will help out a lot.
Awareness, and like you said, it's important to have these resources to be able to donate, because research is so important to something like this, because there's been so many different factors that people don't understand what leads to all of this. I've had conversations with people that say, hey, we stress. As Latinos, we stress about everything. We worry about our families. We worry about ourselves. We worry about doctors. We worry about our kids. We worry about this. And are we going to fail? Are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? Are we good enough? Are we not good enough? And like, sometimes, you know, there are people saying that stress alone is what's leading to dementia, what is leading to Alzheimer's, what's leading to Parkinson's, what's leading to all of these. When you're older, like, you know, is hitting your system, your main core, like your core. And you know, research is so important to that. And if we are the number one leaders of like, hey, we're getting this and we're not doing the research, not even ourselves, or giving money to find research for this, it's like, how are we going to help our kids, our future generations in the future from not, you know, falling into this?
Yeah, I mean, generational wealth doesn't necessarily allude to money. You know, generational wealth is health. You know, it's the bigger part of it is health. Generational wealth in health. It's, you know, so this is just the type of little things that I like to throw in there with my brand, and like the conversations I like to have. You know.
Just give me all the help in the world. I'll figure out how to make myself wealthy. That's why, you know, when I wish happy birthday to people, I say, I wish you a ton of more birthdays to come, and I wish you happiness and healthy. I wish you more happy and healthy birthdays to come. That's my tagline. Now, I want to do something fun with Homie. So, Jaylah, can you get 20 seconds on somebody's phone, please?
20 seconds on a phone. I need to call Mustafa, darling. I got you. Give me 1 second.
Give me 1 quick second. Jeffrey's there. Shout out to her, Jeffrey, and I saw Bella too.
You saw Bella? Say hi, Jeffrey. I got my little squad with me. My daughter Bella. Say hi, Bella, really quick.
Hi. What's up?
She's been in my shadows over here. She's my twin, legit.
I can't see her, but all good. What's up?
How many minutes?
20 seconds.
20 seconds.
All
right.
What we're gonna do is
I gotta get ready now.
Yeah, Crazy Challenge. Here we go, Homie.
20 seconds.
Whenever you're ready, you let me know. Basically, Crazy Challenge. Crazy challenges all our guests to a specific challenge. This week, we're repeating the Doodle Duel, where Homie and Craze will be designing an article of clothing. We're going to do 2 rounds. The first round is a sneaker. So, Homie has designed numerous sneakers in his career. Craze has never designed the sneaker.
And Craze was complaining about 15 seconds last episode. So we're giving him an extra 5 this one.
Yeah. So,
20 seconds at least.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Jaylah, you got the clock ready for us?
Darling, I'm ready on the count of 3. 1,
Go.
2, 3.
3, go. I can hear some pens going.
I hear the
little
10 seconds, darling. 10 seconds.
Woo. Okay.
5, 4, 3.
Damn, I gotta get my pen though. You ain't gonna be able to see it.
1. Time up, darling. Pens down.
Let's see what's on the screen. Craze, you go first. Let's see your sneaker. And
Oh, you went in. You went in.
It looks like a Yeezy / I don't know. Like
Shit. I see you, Craze. He got the old school, he was inspired by the Spice Girls.
It kind of looks like a Jordan Yeezy combo. Okay.
It was supposed to be a cloud. You know what I'm saying? A cloud.
Okay. And Omi, what you got for us?
I mean, I did it in pencil, but then I went over a marker real quick. It would have an R in it for the rig show.
You see?
Damn, he put the R in it though?
Bella, which one do you like out of the two? Craze, could you show her your piece as well?
Oh, all right. Bella, you're going to have to
pick.
pick.
You're the special judge today.
Bella, which one do you like better? This one or this one?
Oh, this is the hard choice.
Pick one. Ready?
This
3,
is a hard
2, 1. Pick one. She picked Craze.
Craze, you got one. You got one. Okay, Craze.
That looks so
Craze is like, yes.
Yes. 1.
I was gonna go with Omi only because it had the Pokemon vibes. It had like Team Rocket, like right there.
I was gonna go with the Omi because first of all, it looks like more my style. It has an R on it. And Crazy sneaker looks like Yeezy so much to me. I don't really mess with Yeezys, but so now we're gonna do a hoodie. I think fall season is coming.
Yeah.
A fly hoodie. Any logo you want in the front. Jaylah, do we got a fresh 20 seconds?
Yeah, right?
We got a fresh 20 seconds.
Okay.
Are you guys are you guys ready?
ready.
Ready. We're ready.
20
And
seconds.
a count of 3, 2,
Oh.
1. Go.
Go.
I like to use my voice sometimes, darling. And now we are at
Me
15
too.
seconds. 15 seconds.
Let's see.
15 seconds.
Crazy
10
live from
seconds.
the Bronx.
20 seconds.
Omi's live from Los Angeles. I'm live
5, 4,
from
3, 2, 1.
Real quick. Just half fast.
Crazy. Let me see what you got there.
Hey, Rick, I think I might be out of a job next season.
The crazy hoodie. Okay. Damn.
What
Man.
did you guys draw? Oh, jacket.
Okay, Bella, which one do you like the best out of the two? You pick the winner.
Oh, I'm the judge of the stuff.
You're the judge.
Yeah,
so
of
you gotta
course.
pick.
Oh no. So
Which one do you like better?
that looks kind of pointy.
Which one do you like better? Dang. Well, mommy said Homie. She said Craze. She
Okay,
don't see Craze right now.
Crazy, you got a friend in Bella. I like
My best
Omi.
friend. That's my best friend. That's why.
There you go.
Omi gets it from my perspective.
Oh,
So in
I
my
actually.
Yeah,
oh,
I'm
I
sorry,
You
Craze,
lose
but
again,
I'm gonna have to
Craze.
go with Omi. Like that was fire. Like I like the logo in the middle.
Crazy, you
No.
lose again.
Where?
I'll take the L only because I also stole Homie's his
I like
design,
his logo.
his design idea.
Kind of
I
cool.
put a little mask on my shit. You know.
Oh, there it is. Damn.
That shit fly.
Yo, that's fire.
No.
That's a 5-minute
fire.
sketch.
I did.
Not a 20-second sketch.
He said, "This all I did in 20 seconds, y'all."
Yo, I'm feeling that hoodie thing.
That's
But
for free.
I like the part that
Alright,
I said pens down.
All right, ready?
Oh.
There you go.
Thank you, Bella. Thank you for
Hello.
participating and being our judge. We truly do appreciate it. She gave us a thumbs up. I like that. Crazy, you're on a losing streak now.
Yo, 2 L's in a row. I gotta start practicing my doodles,
You're on a
man.
losing streak.
That's what everybody keeps telling you.
No,
Get
but
it on.
but you got the shoe though. You got the shoe. You good.
The shoe
No,
is,
that's true. That's true.
you know,
That's true.
I don't know. I don't like big shoes like that. I do like a specific shoe that Omi designed. I'll get to it at the end of the episode.
All right, let's go.
The next segment is distorted images. Actually, we're gonna get to it right now. So I'm taking 4 images of Omi's work. I'm distorting the 4 images, and I'm gonna ask Omi if he knows or he can identify what it is.
All right, let's go.
I'm gonna share my screen, so this might be, might have to. Okay, I'm sharing the first image. Let me know if all you guys see it.
We see it. I see it. Yeah.
We can see it, darling.
Yeah.
Omi, can you guess what image this is?
And this, I mean, it looks like a barcode, but let's see. Is it my new shirt? My new shirt? My new flannel?
Let's see. Let's see exactly which one it is. Boom.
There. Well, it's the flannel. It's my daughter's dress.
Yo,
that's dope.
Fucking fly.
So dope.
Thank you.
You see, Bella?
My
like,
daughter's in the background, like, that's so dope.
That's dope. I wear it.
Let your daughter know that that's not 20 seconds worth of work.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next one. I'm sharing my next screen with you. See if you can identify this piece. They're all gonna look like this, like a barcode.
Okay, I want to say that's me wearing the purple shirt, or the hoodie, the purple, or with the leather jacket.
You sound so confident in that answer. I mean, I want to see. Let's see if you're right.
Let's see.
You are wearing the Lourdes shirt that we were just talking about.
There you go.
So you were correct on that one. You ready for 2 more? Let's see. Let's
do it. I like this.
Let's go to the next one. The next 2 are going to be really hard for you too.
I think it could be the buckle on my crossbody bag.
Buckle on crossbody. Let's see if he is correct. And boom!
Dang.
Oh,
it was close though.
Tell us about this sneaker real quick.
You were right though. It was a buckle. It just wasn't on the back.
Buckle, yeah.
Yeah, man, this shoe was a labor of love, man. It was done in January of 2019, and I partnered with the DANF Group, which is the Dominican American National Foundation, and they pretty much told me during Art Basel, and that they wanted to honor me during their Dominican Heritage Nights at one of the NBA up and coming NBA games, and I was like, wow, I'm honored. You know, that'd be amazing. So me puse la pila, and the minute he told me that, I was like, y'all want to do something for you guys. Hopefully I could raise money. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I could be the first guy that first person you honor that tries to raise money for the foundation so you can keep this going. Because I know how hard it is to do these events at NBA games, baseball, MLB games. They were trying to do, I think, NFL. Anyways, I know how hard it is, and it's not an easy thing. So anyway, as soon as they told me that they wanted to honor me in January, February, I was like, okay, let me put something together, let me put something together. That was December during Art Basel in Miami. And I literally got the shoe done in like a couple of weeks. And they were like, at first they were like, all right, man, whatever. If you want to try, they were like, I did the shoe, and no joke, when I presented it to them, they're like, yo, I can't even get a poster done this fast. They're like, yo, this is crazy.
Alone a whole entire shoe.
They were like, yo, this is crazy.
Our last image of the night is this one.
Man, I want to say it's the Malta shoe, the black shoe.
Damn, let's see. You could be wrong. It could be a jacket. It could be, so many. Boom.
It is. There you go. The Maltas.
The sneaker I've been talking about the entire episode is probably one of the baddest shoes I've ever seen.
Thank you, man.
When I saw it, I've seen Dex has the powder blue ones.
The Celeste, yeah.
Yeah, and then Jay has a different. Well, actually, if you look at our album covers, our episode covers, I think the shoe has come out twice in our episode covers.
Oh, where?
Yeah, I think
So-
2 different guests have worn. But this, when I saw this, I was like, yo, this is insane.
That's the colorway, bro. That I feel like that shit is so
That right there is just, and then there's a jacket also. There's a black jacket.
The jacket's a match.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
Yo, I'm all about jackets. I'm all about winter's coming. Like, let's do this.
I hope that this is you're still producing the shoe, right? This one?
Yeah, that one's available. The Tres Golpes was super limited, one-time run.
Yeah. Well, I'll get my hands on it somehow, the Tres Golpes, but this one is the one that, because I saw Dex wearing his, and I was like, yo, those are fire. And he's like, Omi made these. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, he did the Tres Golpes shoe. And then that's how the discussion started. So,
Dope. That's what's
yeah,
up.
one of my favorite shoes. You know why? Because black is, you can't go wrong with black. And I also like the bottom, the design.
Hey, listen, black is my happy color.
There you go.
This is you can't go wrong with a nice set of all, like, fresh
We
black.
like to close the show with a segment called 3, 2, 1. Now, it's 3 things you've been watching during these 6 months of quarantine. 2 things you've been listening to, could be audio or music, and then 1 thing you do to keep your sanity during this crazy time. So 3, 2, 1, homie. What's your 3 things you've been watching?
Between us, I've been watching a lot of videos that have to do with pattern making for shoes. Pattern making is very complex for a shoe because a shoe could be easily 60 pieces to make one shoe, all the different panels. So I've been challenging myself with that more. I've been listening to a podcast called 99% Invisible. I recommend it. It's amazing. What was the other one?
3 things you've been watching, or 2 things you've been listening to, and 1 thing you do to keep your sanity.
The other thing that I do to keep my sanity is play with my kids. You know what I mean? Got to play with them, because if not, you go crazy if you don't interact with them.
That's real.
Tell me about it.
There she is. So I want to thank Omi for coming on.
That's
If
what's
you
up.
do anything for his Hispanic Heritage Month, please let us know. We would be involved in any shape or form that we can be, as well as if you do another campaign like the Lourdes campaign. We would love to
I would love to
promote and push the word as
be
well.
part of it, like modeling. I don't care what you need for, like, whatever that
Thank
is.
you.
You need me speak in a Colombian accent, darling. No, mi amor, en bizcochito bien, yo se lo vendo así como que si fuera pastelitos en la calle.
Hey.
Did you see the Colombian shirt I did for Colombian Independence Day?
No.
Yo no soy colombiana, pero muy fácilmente tengo compadres, comadres, mi madrina es colombiana, yo fácilmente así. Yo soy costarricense salvadoreña.
I got it.
So you're part of the family now, Omi. Everybody that comes on
man.
the show, we support their
Absolutely.
Their programs or their creativeness 100%. We had Dario on last week. It's this season is called More Culture, and you were the fashion part of the season. So thank you for
honored, bro.
You're always welcome to come on to the show. If there's any help that you need from us, or you want to do something like another episode strictly on Hispanic heritage, or any cause you want to do.
Yeah, any premieres, any causes, like anything. Like,
So
the floor is yours. So I just want.
I literally came here with like a portable charger. And on this call. I was not missing this for the world. Thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you, bro.
I appreciate
continue creating, Omi. Love what
Will
you're
do.
doing, and maybe we'll have you back on because I want to talk about materials.
Anytime.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about how you buy material, with the materials that are available out there, and it's always dope to get the designer's perspective. You know, we had C's on, and he spoke about his shoe and why he used specific elements on the shoe. So
I'd love to, man.
Appreciate
No,
that.
and honestly, like just even the creativeness, the you speaking about it, just doing all of this, I think is so big, you know, for like our culture. That's why, like Rick said, we're doing the more culture thing, because it's like, you know, for me, like, you know, as a Central American, as somebody from South Florida, as somebody like, that's why I love being a part of this show, because, you know, there's such a richness in New York City and in the people we meet up here and in the cultura that's up here, that for me, growing up in South Florida, growing up, you know, differently, even though I was born in Long Island, like it was a thing that like I've been chasing culture. I've been chasing, like, I want to learn more. I want to know more. I want to experience more, because there's not a big Salvadorian, and we get compared, you know, to the Mara Salvatrucha. We get, you know, compared to negative things, you know, and there's not a lot of Costa Ricans. You can't name one Costa Rican artist, singer, painter, nothing other than Maribel Guardia, and everybody thinks she's Mexican.
Jaylah Sandoval on the Rick A Show. Homie, I was asked on YouTube to ask you about the 5 C's before we go.
Oh, I love that.
So,
but keep doing it. But like, keep doing it, because it inspires a lot of us to like not feel like we're outsiders and that we can create.
Yeah, 100%.
So what are Homie's 5 C's, or what are the 5 C's?
So the 5 C's are my approach to design. So basically, I like to work backwards. So most people start with designing something, and then it's like they try to like force it into a culture or a community. So what I do is, before I even design or think about what's needed, I come up with the 5 C's, which is, you first have to identify the content and context of a culture. And after you identify the first 3, content, context, culture, then you could become a part of the conversation. You can either start the conversation or you can join the conversation within the culture. After you get the first 4, which is content, context, culture, conversation, the 5th C comes to fruition, which is create.
That is a perfect way to end this episode.
That is so fire. I got the chills when you said that.
And explained that. That was spectacular, my brother.
Thank you, man.
Continue creating, continue inspiring, and look forward to much of the stuff that you have coming in the fall. I know we saw the hoodie, and we saw the pants, and we saw the school dress that we were just using. But I look forward to the rest of it, man. Thank you for being on. I appreciate it, my brother.
Likewise, man. Take care, guys.
Much success.
Thank you.